here in the Yule Cup 2021 Season 1. We're in the last quarterfinal of the day. By the way, if 1-0 should win, we would have 4 out of 4 races in the semifinals, which is always pretty cool. And that seems like the likely outcome, on paper at least. 1-0, a world-class player, a world champion, many times over. Accolades out the wazoo, is going into this as the big favorite. Soin, I think those shouldn't be underestimated, not by us and not by 1-0. Soin recently has been looking really strong in this tournament in the group stage, and also 2 weeks ago in the Zelos Red Championship as well. Soin seems to be making the next steps to reach the next level. Is he capable of taking out 1-0? Let's find out. We are starting off on Turtle Rock with 1-0 in the bottom left. Soin in the top left, going with a Peon Scout, trying to find out early where the opponent is. Blade Master against DK. DK Ghouls, by the way. Oh, wow. Well, that is rare to see nowadays. In DreamHack, we saw different strategies by 1-0. When he won DreamHack Fall, right? Was DreamHack Fall? He defeated Lin and Fly, or Focus. Basically all the best orcs in the world towards the championship. He is the best undead versus orc player in the world. He is the big inspiration and has been looking extremely impressive in that matchup for quite a while now. The one weakness that Happy has is the matchup against orc. That doesn't seem to be the case for 1-0. He's leading the way, he's innovating, he's the pioneer, and he's showing that here again with a DK Ghoul build, which is very unusual. Very understandable though, also on this map. On Turtle Rock, there's lots of turtles with medium armor, which you can creep very easily if you have normal damage, which is of course the case with ghouls, also the case with grunts and skeletons, and so on. DK gonna creep double green to get the level 2 quickly. Soin wants to get the Ogre Magi. Get the Watch Award between the two bases, which is extremely valuable to have and unique to Turtle Rock. Crystal Ball, not the perfect item for him, but did he reveal up there? I'm not sure. Not sure where he revealed. But 1-0 is creeping up quite a bit here himself. Finding good items here so far. Bonus damage for the Lich is exactly what you want. And in general, everything that's intelligence and mana is very appreciated. Oh, predictions, right. I forgot about the predictions, boys. Sorry. Oh, we'll do that now. Alright, you're gonna have a 2-minute window to place your bets. I think I know what the predictions are gonna look like. 1 ghoul going down so far. That is completely manageable. Oh, the Blade Master used a ton of mana. It's gonna be hard for him to harass effectively on tier 2. 1-0 would love to be just left alone to creep up with the ghouls on the back of the turtle. At the starting positions, you can creep really well with ghouls if you are left alone. But Soin, smartly, is keeping track, keeps on scouting with his grunts. And the Blade Master kept on creeping. Crept again at the other merchant. And now has 2 of the wards. The only 2 wards on the map. And has a lot of constant vision that 1-0 can do nothing about. He didn't get the best items though. Crystal Ball earlier that he sold. 1-0 gets the surround, but the Blade Master is here. No way to hold that surround. Good play here so far by Soin. Shadowhunter should be coming in soon. And then with Hex, There's a lot of kill threat on the Orc side, especially against ghouls, which are very easily taken out. It's not that many ghouls. I think he has 5 now. So he had 6 total. And we're starting to see a transition into fiends. As tier 3 is also started on both sides. So the ghoul opening was certainly a little unusual, but other than that, it is looking pretty standard. Oh wow, is he gonna go for the red pole? Yeah. Cool creep route. There's a lot of creative things Orc can do creep-wise on Turtle Rock. With pulls and item snipes, claws and watcher wards and stuff. Out of all the races, I would say Orc definitely the strongest on Turtle Rock. And it's going to be a big item here. Soin hoping for a better item now than he found at the merchants. Legion Doomhorn. Hallelujah. That makes up for the bad drops from earlier. 1-0 finally gets level 3 as well. But with the fiend count being so low, it's not that easy to creep right now. In this matchup, very often we will see a fairly passive early game with just a big of poking and scouting early on, making sure the opponent isn't being too greedy. And then a lot of creeping in the mid game until finally tier 3 arrives with triple hero lineup. And then usually the big fights erupt. Big Master. Oh! Didn't see the last hit, but he stole the item. Trying to get the Lich. Oh my god. Waiting for the very last second to use that coil. Jesus. I would have panicked way earlier than that. But 1-0 trusts in his instincts. And rightfully so. So normally we see a TC third against a Dark Ranger. Some undeads, like X-Lord, also like playing Pitlord at times. Pitlord was very fashionable when Happy played it and when he won WGL with it, but most recently it's been mostly about Dark Ranger and Banshees. Lots of Banshees usually seen, also Walkers late game for the Orc once it goes into upkeep. And there is the Dark Lady, the Banshee Queen, the Dark Ranger. Oh, Gargantuan still up for grabs here. And Soin can steal it. It's a very nice grab. He doesn't get the last hit, but he gets the item. Which I guess is more important. Oh, that last hit also would have been Shadow level 3 though. So this was actually a very big deal. That 1-0 secured it with a Nova. And I think he's got Frenzy. Actually, I'm not sure. Those ghouls don't seem very fast. Maybe he doesn't have Frenzy. Yeah, actually doesn't look like Frenzy. But still bringing a couple in from the early game. Lich now should be pretty close to level 3, so is the Shadow Hunter. But the Lich doesn't need level 3 to fight so much. The Shadow Hunter does usually. But the fight breaks out without a level 3. Scroll the Beast use. Big damage boost for all of 1-0's army. Going for the TC right away. Silence on the Shadow to prevent the next heal wave. Shadow who is still not level 3. Kodo got in though and got the Devour. Bit of a micro mistake perhaps by 1-0. He's trying to take out that Kodo now next, but first the TC. And he's going to get that one as well. That's level 3 for the Lich. The TC benched for a while. But the Kodo at least gets away. Headhunters are in the mix, but they're not Berserkers yet. They're not really that scary. And 1-0 is destroying Soin in this fight. Normally with Orc, you want to fight later. You want to creep, level. Get 4-4-3 heroes. And that is usually where Orc is the strongest. But Soin also didn't want to give up the middle and give up all those valuable camps and items. 1-0 though has been playing a marvelous game and is definitely in a big lead now here in the late game. Could creep up the red camps now, steal those away and expand in the meantime. Start teching into Banshees. Can do a lot of things. Playing it pretty safe here, 1-0. Goes for the dust and invul pot. Creeping the camp. That didn't give him that much. Skeleton scouting by the Necromancer, of course, always on point. Wants to figure out if there's a greedy Hail Mary expansion up somewhere. That's not the case. Big last hit here. Blade pops the invul to get it as well. Doesn't get the last hit, but gets the item, and that's Claws plus 12. That's a lot more damage. TC again getting nuked. Coil Nova. And 1-0 again plays it safe. TP's out. He probably didn't need to, but he didn't know if there was going to be another Hex and then Dispel, Stomp. And he might lose the DK. These TC level 1 losses not that expensive to remake him, but it's always time where the TC is benched and he can't level. He's still only level 1. And the map is sort of getting crept up slowly but surely. And now we have Banshees, by the way. Which is going to be a big increase in strength for 1-0. He's got really good levels here as well. 4-3-2. Level 3 Dark Ranger would be a big level up. That level 2 Black Arrow. Very effective. Shield Mask, also a wonderful item. And that would be now a pretty good position for 1-0 to expand at. 1-0 is an upkeep already. He's strong. Make one more Acolyte and force a fight and expand behind it. Could be a very prudent thing to do. Doesn't look like Soin is fight ready yet. His army is still in no upkeep. PC is still not level 2. I think he's going to get it here though. At least the Blade Master is strong. Blade is level 4 and he's got some good items. That's the only thing that's really looking convincing here from Soin. A lot of weight on this Blade Master's shoulders to deliver here. As the fight begins, DK way in the back so he doesn't get hexed, doesn't get stomped. The Dark Ranger tanking the front line. Kodo trying to move in, trying to devour, doesn't quite manage to destroy her. Above the trees, baiting the Berserkers into a bad position. Blade Master going into the back, tries to take out Fiends, but with Curse and against Frost Armor, it's not that easy. While the Blade Master is whittling away at a few targets, the Orc army is just disappearing. Just absolutely getting annihilated here is Soin's force. I'm not sure if 1-0 lost anything yet. I think he lost one Banshee. I think everything else is still alive for him. Maybe a Fiend. TC again. Will he die the third time? Or does he survive? Soin takes out the Destroyer, but there's plenty of statues to replace that one Destroyer. Needs to be careful about the Kodo Beast. That would be a big drop in damage if that one falls. Has to certainly be out, microed out of the battle soon. And with the Orc army now so small, it seems pretty easy for 1-0 to micro this fight as well. He's got the level lead, of course. 4-4-3. Very strong heroes. Soin also forgot about the dust, so Burrow extremely effective. The Lich in trouble now, but instant invul potion. Lawlion. Lawlion? No. 1-0. Crossing his T's and dotting his I's. He's gonna TP out again. Unburrow the Fiends, get them out before the heroes die. That was actually pretty close. Soin fought his way back pretty well into that fight. But there it is. There's the expansion. Bottom right. Behind the fight. Soin, though, got a lot of gold right now. He could go for the Tiny Great Hall right now. It's a big late game advantage for Orc. If they are in a good position, or decent position, they can just quickly expand with the Tiny Great Hall, which is of course expensive, but builds almost instantly. Zero wants to go for some new invuls. He used 2 earlier. He lost the TP, so the heroes right now for the undead definitely exposed. Oh my god, that Blade Master. I didn't see the Quel'Thala's boots earlier. He's got plus 44 damage. That is 101 max damage. He could crit for more than 400. Is that correct? Yeah. He could crit for more than 400 when he gets to level 5. Oof. Oof. be scared. Alright, you know, Blade Master level 5, crits, anything is possible. With Frost Armor and Curse, of course, the Blade Master will be somewhat neutralized. Well, that's not the right word. It's just going to be weakened to an extent, but certainly not neutralized. Blade goes in. Windwalk. It's the Blade Master show now. Just the right clicks. Already painful. Nova into the back though also hurts the Berserkers. Blade Master not level 5 yet, but soon will be if he gets a couple of kills. One Banshee was taken out right away. Destroyer does survive for now. Kodo Beast in the middle of the fray. Frost Armor spammed on all the heroes. Very important. Blade Master gets level 5. Alright, 332 crit. That was a pretty low roll. We can go higher than that. Can we get to 400? The Kodo needs to be in range, of course. Oh, he missed the crit! The Banshee Curse. Keeping this Blade Master at bay. Dark Ranger might be dead, though. She is dead. DK was hexed. Couldn't come in with a saving coil right there. And now the Lich in trouble next, perhaps. Suddenly, the army for the Undead is very small, and the DK can't heal. Ah, he can. Oof. Can heal the Lich. One more saving coil. 332 crit! Oof! Lich almost decapitated with that one. But does still survive. Soin, though, he's fighting his way back into this game. He seems to be winning this game now. The power of late game, ultra late game. Orc heroes. One more coil to come through, but the Lich, yeah, he's dead. He's surrounded and dead. We didn't see the 400 crit, unfortunately. But there was 2 hero kills still for Soin. Lich bought back. DK, no TP anymore. GG is called. And so on, showing that he has to be respected. And he came back really well in that game from a difficult position. I feel like 1-0 maybe got a little complacent after he won the mid game. I think he crept too passively and should have tried to stay on the Orc more, because if Orc heroes get to 5-4-3, it's very scary. And of course, if the Blade Master gets the right items. Very, very good Blade Master items right there. You can't really rely on the items carrying through the early game, but in the late game, if he gets level 5, look out for those crits. I think he gave over some damage items, right? Like he gave one of the claws over to the shadow and instead put the circlet on the blade. So he didn't have the 100 max damage anymore. So he didn't see the 400 crit, unfortunately. But 330, also not too bad. Map number 2 is coming up next in a moment. And I think it should be a much better map for 1-0. Normally, the smaller the map is, the harder it is for Orc to A, creep triple hero, and B, expand somewhere in the corner. The better it is for the Undead. So for that reason, Twisted Meadows is a impossible map for Undead against Orc. But that one is not in the pool. But Turtle Rock is very similar to Twisted. So honestly, I think Undeads should actually veto Turtle Rock against Orc. Most Undeads, though, love Turtle Rock because it's very good in the other matchups. But I think against Orc, it should perhaps be vetoed. And Soin takes the lead. The underdog. Can he upset 1-0 and ruin a lot of people's bets We have 81% of people betting on 1-0 with their channel points. Is it going to be a rip or a comeback? Blade Master first again. Against a Tet Fiend opening. 1-0 was also playing some Crypt Lord in DreamHack. But Crypt Lord Expo, it seems like not very reliable against orcs. If the orc plays very good against it, either with Farseer pressure or Blade Master Hitman style, seems like Crypt Lord is not the way to go anymore. I'm looking outside right now, by the way. It is snowing like crazy. It's a regular snowstorm out there. Normally, I always love to see 1-0's aggressive play against Blade Master in a standard versus standard game. I think that is much of the difference between him and Happy and what separates their success in this matchup. 1-0's willingness to play aggressive and slow down the Blade Master. Because I really think it comes down mostly to the heroes this matchup. If the Orc gets crazy hero levels in the end, it's very, very hard for the Undead to keep up with that. He's grouping the natural? With DK and 4 skeletons? No, okay. Acolyte scouting, seeing what's going on. It was a Blade Master with crit first to speed up the creeping, so it's a fast level 2 for Soin. And then maybe can look towards the marketplace. Some more claws would certainly be nice. 1-0 also will be getting level 2 here in a moment. And you can see he's got the creep route figured out and he wants to make sure the Blade Master doesn't steal camps away from his side. As he gets level 2 there finally. Sentry Ward very nice early on here to keep track of the Orc's whereabouts. There's a few sneaky things you can do here as Orc. During the first nighttime, in this matchup, Orc always loves to try to creep something greedy. On maps like Terranos or Twisted, that would be the Merc Camp early. But no Merc Camp here. On Northern Isles, it's the middle. With 3 grunts, you can creep the Merchant. And thanks to Speed Scroll, that is normally not too risky. So 1-0 will have to make sure he's going to be looking out for that. Oh, and Snare on the Fiend. Probably not going to lead to a kill, but it's going to drain a lot of mana out of the DK. Going to have to use 2 coils here. Ooh, Blade Master with a Speed Scroll. It's kind of a big commitment, using the Speed Scroll here. If he doesn't get the kill, it's a big waste. He's also using a lot of mana, but he's going to get the Fiend in the end. Oh, is he though? Oh my god. And the Fiend survives! Oh, that's a disaster. Speed Scroll gone. And almost all of the Blade Master's mana. But at least the DK is also completely out of mana. Oh, he surrounds him with 3 skeletons and the Death Knight. But Blade Master just fights out. It looked cool though. At the end of the day though, the Blade Master ran around and didn't get much experience. So I would say this early game goes to 1-0. He keeps on creeping and keeps scouting and makes sure that Soin isn't being too cheeky and isn't getting something like the Merchant. But actually now he is. Soin wants to get a big camp here finally to catch up in experience, as he knows the DK will be level 3 in no time. But again, 1-0 is creeping with a bit of his army, and the DK is going to the middle because he knows most likely he's over there, and the Acolyte is still alive to scout. Excellent scouting. And this is the difference between 1-0 and Happy. 1-0 will keep the Orc in check much more. And he will try to make sure that he can't be too greedy. 12 allows boots again for the Blade Master. Plus 11 agi already. So at the end of the day, the camp goes to Soin. But again, it was made difficult. It cost a lot of heal cells. Blade Master is completely out of mana. And the Shadow Hunter has... Wait a minute. Oh my god. Shadow Hunter has no experience! He actually stole the last hit with the Skeleton and the Acolyte. Oh my god. The DK didn't get the XP because he was hexed. But he still stole the last hit. Preemptive Frost Armor on the Fiends. Very smart. Because he knows, well, they might get hexed and focused. Soin with a level 1 Shadow Aggression. Trying to kill off some Fiends. He's gonna get one Fiend. But that means he only has 30 experience still. But he's getting more experience here. Steals that camp away. And gets a Claws plus 9. Soin definitely blessed today with his Blade Master items. But the XP is a problem. Shadow Hunter is super underleveled. 1-0 could go for a powerful tier 3 timing with a Pit Lord. It's going to be Blade Master 3 at the lab. Shadow Hunter, I'm not sure if he's going to get level 2 here. Pretty close. There are more claws in the camp as well. In the marketplace, I mean. And the Shadow Hunter did get the level 2. Blade Master did get the level 3. Oh, that would be a big steal if you can get it! Didn't get it. That was very close, though. Oof. He was already up in the air. Acolyte is still alive, which is very weird to see. Well, I guess he's gonna die now. Is he gonna coil the Acolyte? No. Dark Ranger 3rd again. No Pit Lord. DK still at level 3. Surprisingly. And he bought the claws. 125 gold. Very good to equip the Lich with. Soin doesn't have an Invul Potion, by the way, so he's gonna have to be careful with the Blade Master. Battle now at the gold mine. 1-0 is about to hit 2 level ups here with DK and Lich. Gets it on the DK. If he gets that level 4 guy, he's got level 2 Lich, I think. Yeah. No silence though, so the TC can't be controlled. Heat Wave used right away. Blade Master going for the statues with the Purge. That one is taken out instantly. And the Ensnare takes care of the second statue. So, good start to the fight for Soin. Takes out the healer right away. Oh, but the Book of the Dead! That's a big addition now of skeletons. And just stuff on the ground. Hard for Soin to deal with. He's going to lose another grunt right there. And yeah, he actually only took out 1 statue, not 2. Because 1-0 moved it to the trees and there was little surface area. And now the Dark Ranger is level 2 with so many skeletons. He could push into the main. But decides not to do it. And I think this is a mistake here by 1-0. He's playing so passively right now. Ideally in this situation you want to expand and keep pressure on the Orc. As the Orc army is still very small, the Shadow Hunter is still sort of underleveled. And so is the TC. Soin getting a big camp here with the red camp. Can he get another wonderful item? Helm of Valor. Yes, sir! Very good item for the Blade Master. Plus 41 damage again. The Blade Master could again get out of control. If he does, though, it's because of 1-0 making the mistake of giving too much space to Soin. 1-0 had full map control a moment ago, and then he just went into the corner and giving free creeping to Soin. That does not seem like the right play. Soin, of course, gladly takes that opening and finally levels up his TC. And gets his blade very, very close to level 4. Another clause. He can't even hold all these items. Plus 44 again. But he doesn't have an invuln, so needs to be careful. A nuke could end his life fairly quickly. Yeah, he's gonna have to give up some damage items to go for an invuln pot. Should be available maybe in the shop. Ooh, race for the invuln. Blade Master gets it. Very important. Sentry Ward reveals him. Blade feels the pain. And you never want to start low HP into a fight with the Blade Master. It's going to take a lot now to heal him up with the heal waves. Blade can't quite connect properly how he wants to. Wand of Illusion in the middle of everything. Confusing the battle now. Banshee comes in, the first one. The curse is going to go out on the Blade Master right away. That's going to limit the damage by 33%. Which is a lot. Blade Master also getting slowed down by the Frost Nova. Frost Armor, I mean. He's getting kited around like crazy. It's all about the Blade Master. If he doesn't put in the big damage, Soin has no chance. And so far we haven't seen a single crit. I think he just missed that crit maybe. He gets a destroyer kill though. He misses another crit. And that's level 2 critical strike now for him. This is where the damage could finally ramp up. But in the meantime, while the Blade Master was trying to find kills, 1-0 was able to get the kills. He killed so much of the Orc army. And getting more kills still. Takes out the Kodo, takes out the Headhunter. And Soin got completely smashed in that fight. But we saw that before in Echo Isles. Maybe he can fight back with his strong heroes, with his strong Blade Master again. But I think 1-0 is going to try to not let that happen this time. And that's also why, you know, Blade Master can be very strong, but can also be countered. With kiting, with curse, with frost armor, with burrow. If the Blade Master is wasting his time and not finding the kills, the Orc has no chance, because the rest of the army doesn't really do damage. In this super late game kind of situation. Still no expansion for 1-2-0. He could send it Acolyte top left and expand there. There's something moving, so that might be it. Over to the skeleton. I'm not sure. Ah yeah, there it is. 50 supply expo. 1-0 going into upkeep. Trying to protect the expansion. Probably going to keep up the pressure. Spirit Walker tech coming in, trying to deal with the Banshees. Dispel the curse, dispel Frost Armor, and also use Spirit Link to protect your heroes and units. But because Soin was so slaughtered in that earlier fight, it's hard for him to have the resources to get all the tech online that he wants. Keeps on losing units. Gonna lose a burrow here as well. Blade Master was checking in the south for an expansion there, but it's not there. It's in the top left. Smart positioning by 1-2-0 in the top left, where it's easier to get to. Harder, of course, to get to. We're gonna need some critical damage magic for Soin to come back into this game. It worked on Turtle Rock, but this time the blade is not level 5 yet. He's far away from level 5. TC also not level 3, which is probably the bigger deal. Level 5 Blade Master is certainly a big upgrade, but level 3 TC, I would say, makes an even bigger difference. Army size, definitely in favor of 1-2-0. He's sitting at 60. Only 50 for Soin. Blade Master counts for a lot, but does he count for enough? In we go again. Nova on the Walker. Almost taken out right away. Barely survives, but only for a little while. Blade Master going to town on the Destroyer. Last second coil. Keeps alive just for a little bit longer. Statues are out of harm's way. Statues being kept alive in the back. Normally, that's the target that Blade Master prefers. 264 crit. That was the first big crit of the game. How many more of those can we see? Blade Master is still cursed. Can't be dispelled because the Walker is dead. There's one Walker still remaining. but perhaps the mana too low. The skeletons also coming in, the level 2 skeletons from the Dark Ranger. Very hard to deal with. DK diving deep into the fight, not concerned with getting focused. Has, of course, that Cloak of Flames, which does a little bit of damage over time. So many misses! That was 4 misses in a row! 5? That was 5 misses in a row from the Blade Master. The Banshees again showing how powerful they can be and how necessary they are against Orc in the late game. And again, Soin is getting destroyed in this fight. The heroes are still alive. 270 crit. Hello. But the army has all but disappeared. Blade Master is starting to find a few kills over here. His damage is considerable. And the curse finally wore off. So no more mischance on the blade until new Banshees arrive. Destroyer goes down. Banshee goes down. Almost the statue as well. But Shadowhunter is out of mana, so now Soin has to fall back. Oh, another nice surround. These surrounds out of nowhere by Soin have been looking really cool. But at the end of the day, it's still only skeletons. You can fight out. The TC will get away. But of course, 1-0 now has the expansion established. Not sure how many backlights are up there. Maybe not fully loaded. Ah, it is actually. Well, 4 out of 5. So, lots of income here for 1-2-0. Can go into more upgrades, more fiends, and more items. Stealing those invols away at the shop is a big deal. And maybe you can even make use of the marketplace. Pretty much no creeps left on the map. There's just 1 or 2 remaining at the Tuskar. So, yeah. Soin can't creep up his way to level 5. Has to do it by fighting 1-0. Which is going to be a daunting task now because 1-0 has gotten very large in army size. Well, actually, that's not true. This army's not big yet. But give him a minute or two, and the army for 1-0 will again be 60 supply, maybe 70. Alright, Soin saved a little bit of gold and went for the tiny Great Hall. Needs to stay even in economy to have a chance here late game. If this next fight is won by Soin, he's actually got a good shot. But right now he's down by 20 supplies, so it's going to be very hard to do. Again, all hopes rest on the Blade Master's shoulders. Going for the Banshee right away. That one gets taken out, but the Blade Master did get cursed, I mean. Destroyer surviving for now as well. Code of Beast can't quite get in for the Devour. There was a Dust purchased earlier. And the Blade Master's finding a few kills. And he's getting very close to level 5. 213 crit. Curse, of course, RNG. At the moment, we see no misses from the Blade Master, unlike earlier. Lich also gets level 4. The Dark Ritual here can definitely be very helpful. And of course, +4 intelligence. Not to forget. There we go. Blade Master level 5. And now it's time to crit. Aura being used again, but there should still be a dust. 264 critical strikes. It's not as crazy as on Turtle but the Blade Master is officially online. And 1-2-0 might be... this game might be slipping away from him. Normally in the ultra late game, you want to go double temple with master training on the Banshees to steal Kodos and stuff. But he didn't do that. 1-2-0 though still looking strong. 60 supply, still a decent force left, but Destroyers died, Banshees died, a lot of Fiends died. Soin is going to have to give up the expansion though, and he can't go for a new Tiny because Tiny Great Hall has 2-minute cooldown in the shop. Lich can now eat the Dark Minions to get more mana back. Lots of Novas to be used. Someone's going to try to hold the expansion, but it might be a little too late. 1-0 clicks it down. Expansion has fallen. Blade Master is cursed again. Took a little while, but the curse is applied. And now we see the misses again. A few of them. 340 crit. Hallelujah. There's the big one. Takes out a Fiend right away. There's a lot of army to chew through. Even all that damage on the Blade Master is not enough to kill off everything instantly, but 1-0 is going to respect the Blade. It's going to lose a few more units, including that statue. And the heroes for the Orc are now at the critical point of where they are super strong. But can Soin keep up an economy and an army strength? The Orc heroes now exceed the power of the undead heroes, but 1-0 made sure that he was going to have another lead in the late game, which is the expansion, so the economic advantage. Tiny Great Hall came off cooldown again. He's got a new one. And the mains are going to expire soon. And then it's going to be one base versus one base again. And 1-0 has been losing the last couple of fights because of the powerful Orc heroes in the late game. And I think he made the mistake of not going into Master Banshee training. This game suddenly looking very good for Soin. He might be making the upset happen. One-0 though still with a big army. 1-0 has had a supply lead for a while. Soin's heroes have been carrying him through this deficit. If this next push by 1-0 also fails, he's going to be behind in this game. He won't have lost it, but he'll be behind. Master training coming in. Soin finally need to upkeep. This might be the first time this game Soin is in upkeep. I'm not exactly sure. Anti-magic being spread as well on the Banshees. Maybe they have Master now? I'm not sure. Also protects against Envenomed Spears, although not very relevant here. Seems like Soin is very hard committing for this Destroyer, overcommitting. The Nova punished him bad on the Berserkers there in the back line. The heroes being ignored at the beginning of the fight. The unit's way easier to take out first. Oh my god, and Soin again getting decimated with his units. Everything is again up to the Blade Master to do all the damage. One crit of 320. Another one. 300! Like Leonidas and his brave Spartans. But the army for 1-0 is massive at this point. Still. And the Blade Master perhaps can't do it all by himself. Shadowhunter healing is starting to run out. And now that the mana is gone for Heatwave, then 1-0 can start focusing the Blade Master, which I think is what he tried to do. Soin wisely went for a nuke shop at the expansion. He definitely needs that one. TC out of mana. No stomps from him anymore. A little easier to micro for 1-0. He should also have invul potions with how much map control he has had here for quite some time. The army for the Orc always seems to evaporate quickly. It's again up to the Blade Master, up to the crits. Blade is cursed. And he misses the crit right there. He jumped up in the air. The DK gets level 5. That's a big kill. The Kodo Beast is taken out. The Aura missing. And 1-0 on the third or fourth attempt to crack this Orc opponent might finally be doing it. But also his mana is running somewhat low. Blade Master, of course, needs to be concerned himself now that the nuke is so powerful on the undead side. The Coil Nova could end his life quickly, especially if he doesn't have Spirit Link applied. And 1-0 is going to take out this expansion again. Soin is ultra broke. And finally seems to be broken. Can't go for a new Tiny. No more source of income. Soin almost got the win here, but now it's looking desperate. I wonder if he had scouted the top left, could there have been a window where the Blade Master can disrupt that mining? Would have been very hard to do with how much good positioning 1-0 had and kept on pressuring in the middle of the map and at the expansion and so on. And this seems to be the end. One last blaze of glory for the Blade Master. Can we get to 400 crits? Well, not this game. Doesn't quite have enough damage for that. It's getting a few kills here and there, but it's only the Blade Master left as the only threat on the map. And 1-0 now with a massive army. He is going to be closing out game 2 in his favor. We're going to go to a third deciding map. Soin wants to find out, wait a minute, have you had an expansion top left this whole time? And now he knows, and he's like, God damn it. God damn it, I didn't realize that one. Calls for the GG. And brings us to map 3. Which I think we're all pretty happy to see. This is a fun series here so far. And definitely both players worthy opponents to each other. And I think 1-0 now, also with a little bit more respect for Soin and the Blade Master strategy. 1-0 was just destroying orcs left and right. Maybe he forgot about the crit a little bit. Turtle Rock, the Blade Master came back once he finally had all those items, once he finally had all those levels. And he almost was able to do it on Northern again. But not quite. Even with 360 crits, Soin was just a little bit too far behind to let his Blade Master carry him through. Third map, now that's going to be very interesting, because Northern Isles and Turtle Rock are both good maps for Orc Triple Hero. I guess Northern is more like decent for Orc Triple Hero. Turtle Rock is really good. But the big maps are sort of out of the pool right now. So with the smaller the map is, the less Orc can rely on having those powerful heroes in the late game, which is one of their biggest ways to victory. Terranas Stand would be another big map where the Orc can creep really well. But I imagine that should be vetoed. They didn't show the vetoes earlier. But normally should be vetoed indeed. We haven't seen any Crypt Lord yet. Could be a surprise Crypt Lord on map 3. If it's the right map for it, of course. Echo Isles is a good Crypt Lord map. Twisted can be a good Crypt Lord map. Although very dependent on random spawn and so on. But also, we don't have Twisted in the pool. I keep forgetting. Echo Isles also a fairly likely choice, although some orcs started vetoing it. Echo Isles is very interesting. It gets vetoed from both sides of the fence. Some orcs veto it, some undeads veto it. I'm gonna find out what it is here in a moment. Players may have asked for a bit of a break, because for once it's taken a moment to start the game. I guess this is probably the closest series we've had today, right? Chimiko versus Mikhail was also pretty close, but the games themselves were pretty one-sided at times. Whereas now, it's really neck and neck between 1-0 and Soin. The two seem to be very evenly matched, and this is again a testament to Soin's strong shape currently. He is, for me personally, one of the most promising players for this year in terms of personal improvement. But yeah, we're trying to determine the 4th semi-finalist for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna have 3 more games for the Douyu Yule Cup Championship Season 1. There's supposed to be more Yule Cups this year, which I'm gonna be looking forward to. Yeah, focus Chimiko Lawlight. If 1-0 makes it, we're gonna have one of each race in the semis. But if Soin goes through here and upsets, we're going to have 2 orcs. Which not too many people would have thought. Alright, I think they just started the game a moment ago, so map number 3, the decider. The most likely to be left, I would say, is Last Refuge. Concealed, maybe. I could also see Concealed. Amazonia should definitely be vetoed by Soin. And Terranas should definitely be vetoed by 1-0. We'll find out in a moment. Our last map of the day between these two. A game much closer than some would have thought in our predictions here in the channel points. 81% expected 1-0 to take this. Soin is proving to be a worthy adversary. Our third map is Echo Isles. And that is the best Cryptlord map. Soin is trying to blind counter Echo Isles with a Farseer Headhunter build. If 1-0 had just gone for DK, he would have had a bit of a lead with the opening build, but he is trying the Ghoul build. It could be Ghoul DK again, or is he doing the Cryptlord? Is it Cryptlord or not? Yes, it is. Alright, interesting. 1-0, third game in a row, different build. And Soin now switching to Farseer Headhunters as well. As I said, he's trying to blind counter the Cryptlord expansion. I think, though, nowadays, Undeads have found a very good way to play against the Farseer. If you see Farseer, you can just not expand and just tech. And then oftentimes, it seems like the Farseer is in a lot of trouble. Because you're gonna move into a one-base late game situation. Where you don't have a Blade Master to carry you through the late game. The Farseer cannot keep up against Undead Triple Hero, normally. But 1-2-0. He's probably going to try to expand, still. Of course, he hasn't seen the Farseer yet. And yeah, there it is. He sells the TP. Goes for a little green camp first. One-0 probably expects the Farseer to come in here to harass, so he wants to creep one camp first safely before the opponent can do anything about it. Do we see a second barracks? Yes, we do. Yeah, I think 1-0 should just tech now and just fake out the expansion. Is he going to do that, though? Or is he going to be a little stubborn? Big decision right here. It's not impossible to hold the expansion against double racks mass headhunters. Not impossible, but hard. Very hard. Still not sure if he teched or not. We haven't seen the base for a while. Seems like he's going through with the expansion, though. This is not looking like a one-base play. Could be a very elaborate ruse, but I think it's just simply an expansion. Big last hit here. If the Farseer gets it, he denies level 2. Oh, and he got it! With the Headhunters, that was such a big deal. No Impale now for the Cryptlord for a long time. Nice saves on the Ghouls. 1 or 2 Wolves would also be the level up for the Cryptlord. Still no expansion. Is he actually teching? Is this the biggest fake of all time? No, he's got... No way. He's got tons of lumber. Ah, he just started to tech now. Yeah. Oh no, he started the expansion. Sorry. Alright, 1 Ziggurat finishes, and Nerob is being upgraded. More and more Headhunters coming in. 1-0 trying to get that one Headhunter kill to get the level 2 finally. And he does get it. He's been losing quite a few Ghouls. With high Headhunter numbers, Ghouls are easy to snipe, and that is the difficulty of playing Cryptlord against this Headhunter style. I wonder, if he had just decided to tech upon seeing the Farseer, maybe that would have been smarter. But we'll see if he can hold on against the Headhunter pressure. This Haunted is definitely going to get cancelled once. 1-0 trying to kill off as many Headhunters as he can. But will continuously be losing Ghouls here. Nerob Tower, of course, very strong. Slowing down these Headhunters. And the Crypto is getting good experience here. 1-0 making sure he's not denying the experience. And so much of this early game also comes down to that Ogre Magi last hit. If Soin hadn't gotten this one, 1-0 would have been in a much better position. Level 3 is going to be a big deal on both sides. And I think they're both kind of close to that. Farseer got slowed down and surrounded. Oh, that's a big deal. Big mistake by Soin, getting his first hero surrounded, which he does not TP out in time. Oh my god. 1-0 almost perfectly calculates the damage. There was just 1 or 2 hits missing for the Farseer to go down. But even with the Farseer surviving, it's a lot of time for 1-0 to now freely creep and get his level 3. And get mercenaries. The Farseer running into narrow tower range, that might be the mistake that costs Soin the game. But it's not over yet. He still has stupidly high amounts of headhunters. He's gonna have a level 3 Farseer now as well. Cryptlord gets level 3. But of course 1-2-0 has no means of regenerating mana before tier 2. And tier 2 is still far away. One-0 has had quite a bit of time here to just move on the map, creep. Counterattacking with ghouls into the orc base could also be an idea. But then against burrows, perhaps not that effective. Cryptlord, 0 mana. I'm not sure he wants to hold against these headhunters. 1-0 upgraded as well. So much damage from all these headhunters. Replenishment potion for the Cryptlord is really nice. Finally, a little more mana for the beetle. Cryptlord, does he have a staff? Ooh. Okay, he's pretty tanky. He's got evasion, he's got bonus armor. Trying to delay a little bit more, trying to buy some time. And there's a few beetles harassing in the main. This is of course something that Cryptlord can now do pretty well with his level 3. Yes, so 1-0 definitely needs to transition to Fiends, as the ghouls will just get sniped by these headhunters super fast. Second crypt might help. Berserker going down. There's level 4 for the Farseer. Level 2 Chain Lightning, level 2 Wolves. So many headhunters. How many is that? 5, 10, 11. 11 right now on the screen. The beetle harass in the main, definitely annoying. Soin has to set up towers. But he hasn't lost, I think, a single... No, wait, he lost 1 headhunter this game. But I think 1 headhunter only. Headhunters can be very good in the early to deal with ghouls, but they will dramatically fall off later. If you go into a 2-base kind of game and the armies grow beyond 60 supply, the Cryptlord, who will be level 4 at some point, will of course be extremely effective with Impale against headhunters. So, that is the double-edged sword of headhunters. Very good early against the ghouls and the beetles and all that, but will have severe weaknesses later on. So inside is tier 3, so he's going to be able to Tiny Great Hall counter expand soon. He wants to steal away as much experience on the map as he can, especially on the undead side, and then get TC at some point and counter expand with a Tiny. Is that going to be in time though, or is that going to be too late? Because 1-0 is gathering a lot of resources. And is going more and more into Fiends. Slaughterhouse coming. DK coming. Where's the TC, though? Oh, he forgot about the burrow! Oh, massive macro mistake by Soin. Forgetting about the burrow being limited to Farseer only for a very, very long time. That is extremely painful. Farseer close to level 5, which is not bad. Level 3 wolves, definitely pretty good. You could even go chain lightning. But you would much rather have all that experience on the TC. Who is still not out. Finally starts training. But there's hardly any experience left on the map. Lots of ghouls still remaining for 120. He could send them over as a run-by squad. Although he knows there's double towers in the base, so that probably wouldn't do much. We do have the Woofies level 3 with invisibility and good damage. They certainly are powerful summons. But you can only make 2 of them. Not 6, like with the Crypt Lord. Tiny Great Hall in the inventory. Counter expansion finally coming up. Oh, he's got Beetle's burrowed there. Oh! Can only prevent him for a little while. No dust yet on the Farseer. These beetles remind him that he should get that at some point. Wonders trying to get as much experience as he can. Also taking experience away from the TC, of course. Getting found. He's going to have to TP out. But he got the camp already. So 120 is fine with this. I was about to say, perhaps he doesn't have a TP. But he does. And 120's macro is churning on the other side of the map. He's producing like crazy right now. But at the moment, the army size here for 120 are not big enough. He's going to come back soon, though, with a bigger force. Oh! One Berserker goes down. But look at the wolves! They killed 5 acolytes. Wow. It's a little sloppy by 120. He could have certainly microed that better. TC can level to 3. With the Merc and the Murlocs and the green. Wait, is that level 3? I think it is. Pretty sure. Yeah, especially with the bit of experience that he got before. That should be level 3. The wolves again. Dude, Soin, he's keeping himself in this game. However, the supply is still really low, and he doesn't have a Blade Master this time to make up for inferior numbers. Headhunters will turn to Berserkers soon. It's going to be a big upgrade for them. But of course, 120 has the Impale to use, which is one of the best weapons against Berserkers. And he should have some mana potions as well on his Crypt Lord. Soin doesn't have the Berserk upgrade yet, by the way. His lumber has been low this whole time, thanks to the beetle harass. So this is still just only Headhunters, not Berserkers, which is a big problem. Crypt Lord has 1 mana potion, so that should be like 3-4 Impales or something. A couple of ghouls coming in as well. Soin, can he force back this attack? He's got the level 3 TC. It's hard to get into the right position. First Stomp comes in. Not that impactful. And still, no Berserkers, only Headhunters. Good splits by Soin. Trying to not allow the crazy Impale, but it's hard to put out the damage and not get Impaled at the same time. And without Blade Master, without Orb of Lightning, without Berserker upgrade, it just seems like Soin has no damage here. Impale, the TC might be going down now. He was the solo frontliner. He took a lot of damage, and the TC falls, and that seems like that's the game. Soin started off with a double Rex Headhunters. Maybe he wanted to all in, but he got surrounded, and then it all fell apart. GG is called, and the upset will not happen today.